be here tomorrow. Bernie's going to be here tomorrow. And he's getting a little bit of angry backlash for saying that families who lost loved ones in the Sandy Hook school massacre should not be able to sue the gun manufacturer. Now, he has very specific points. What do you guys think?
Well,
go ahead.
I don't understand it personally. One, let me say this. I've never had a mass shooting happen to someone in my family. I don't know what that feels like, first and foremost. However, speaking from the outside, I don't think it's fair for those families to sue the gun manufacturers. I think they should talk to the government because they're the ones who put it in law that these kind of guns can be sold.
That's right.
And I think that it's unfair to go to these people who are trying to make their money, no matter, you know, people make all kinds of products that can kill someone, let's just be honest, cars and everything else, but you don't sue them for it. You need to go to the government and say the Second Amendment was made at a time when we needed to protect ourselves from whoever's going to show up at our door for war. Now we have all kinds of stuff that we don't need. We don't need these guns everywhere, and I have a gun. I don't need it, I got it, but I mean, I don't use
Why
it.
do you have it?
Why do I have, because I'm from the South and I learned how to shoot guns when I was younger, and it's just a part of my life. Now, if I wasn't taught that at a young age, I would go to the gun range to know, but I don't really need it. I don't use it. I'm never going to shoot nobody.
Good, don't bring it here.
No, in your home, if someone...
You know what I have you know what, in LA, I have it and I used it once and I got in trouble because I didn't have all of the right paper. No, I had the paperwork. The bullets were connected in a way they weren't supposed to. You know what I actually have? A taser and a wand stick. Non-lethal types of protection that can stun someone just as easy as a gun can and put them on their ass.
Well, I think what they're trying, if I understand this correctly, I think they're suing the manufacturer because they feel that the manufacturer has said that this is a normal gun for regular people, when in fact people are looking at it and saying, no, this should be talked about as a gun that should only be used by the military.
So it's false advertising.
So that's, I think that's, because there's a loophole, because you actually can't sue the gun manufacturer, but I think under this loophole of, I want to call it false advertising, but there's a very specific phrase for it. I think that's how they're doing it, because they feel that the advertising of this weapon as something that everyday people should have in their house may be.
So they went to a chop shop for a gun place and bought a chopped up gun?
No, this is the gun as it is.
It's a legal gun, and it was legally purchased, so there wasn't anything.
But they feel that
Bernie has a
too high-powered of a gun to be sold. That's what the family.
A lot of people, they often talk about an AR-15. This is a gun that I know a lot of people that have this gun. It's a semi-automatic. Yeah, it's a semi-automatic. It's not a military-grade weapon. Military uses automatic weapons. But these are guns that a lot of people I know have to protect themselves, and they feel that a lot of criminals have access to these types of weapons, and they want to have that same right. They say, if a criminal can go in a dark alley and get one of these guns, and I'm sitting in my home and I'm an elderly woman, or I'm a single mom, or I'm looking to protect my family, why can't I have access to those same types of weapons that those criminals have access to?
But why do they have arsenals of them? They only need, if you're going to shoot one criminal, all you need is a handgun.
I'm not a gun girl, but I'll defend their Second Amendment rights because
even if it's irrational, you'll still defend it.
I don't know that it's irrational. I know people who enjoy shooting. They do it for sport.
It's not irrational that Adam Lanza had access to an arsenal of military-style weapons.
That's the thing.
That's not irrational.
That's the thing, though. People like that, he got that gun through somebody else. They will go to
his mother
who got it legally.
Well, she said it right.
He will
the government needs to deal with this.
The government needs to deal with that, not those gun manufacturers. But I understand their reason for suing.
You have to hold everybody accountable. I mean, you can't hold Boeing accountable for a terrorist attack or a hijacking, or like a car if a drunk driver killed someone in it. You can't.
Right, but if you're, but to
their defense.
Well, not their defense, but I understand what they're saying. If, in fact, this weapon doesn't need, because you can't hunt with it. You know, you end up with, like, deer dust. You know, so, and if that's your weapon to protect yourself, shouldn't that shouldn't there be some kind of explanation that this is You know, we have other guns that will do that better than this, perhaps.
You could. I mean, and I support, I support background checks. I know some conservatives hate when I say that. There are other mechanisms that you can put in place. But I think in this argument, Bernie Sanders is almost being painted as a pro-gun guy. Like he's nowhere associated with the gun law.
Bernie has a D- rating from the NRA, which means they're not exactly sending him a Hanukkah card. So let's just put it in perspective about Bernie.
But again, if someone is saying, you need to look at this and see whether this is being manufactured, not manufactured, whether this is being sold in a fashion that really is sort of making it a lighter gun than it is.
I agree with that.
I'm trying to figure out if that's what, if that's what, I don't know. I just feel anything that will help us explain to people why background checks are important, why all those things are important. I wish the NRA would get on board with stuff like this, because it makes it so hard when one group says, we're not going to talk to you about anything. These are parents who lost, and children who lost their parents, and they're trying to find a way to balance this all out, and I think the NRA could be helpful.
But you know what would be, after that Sandy Hook massacre, if the NRA did not step up and try to be helpful, I really have no faith that they ever will. I mean, when you see 6-year-old children being massacred en masse, and you don't have some kind of plan to fix the future assassinations like that, massacres like that,
it's not the gun, it's the people.
Well, that's so irrational.
I still believe.
That's what they said.
I believe that the NRA, that people make up the NRA, and I know that there are rational people in the NRA. I gotta cut it. Never mind. We'll be right back.
You're one